Okay guys, hey, what's going on? Today I kind of want to go ahead and talk about what it is to grind in this game. It can be a pain in the ass, but you know, once you make it to that first mill, then you kind of get set up first, man. A couple ways I'm going to recommend grinding my tips for today's video on, because it is just a GTA video. My tips for grinding are find passive money making methods, especially AFK ones where you don't have to do much. So what I do is I go into this thing, and what it does, the convenience of this, is it spawns the enemies into these death traps right here. What a death trap is it's a bunch of these electrical things, right? And you know, if I gotta shoot them, it starts, you know, doing its thing. But naturally, it shocks you if you get inside of it. And basically what this ends up doing is making it almost impossible to get out. Now, as you guys can clearly see, I'm almost dead. Just from that. Look at my health bar. And it spawns the enemies inside of there, and, well, they just die. Meaning there's nothing you really have to do. You know, you just... Sometimes they'll glitch out and you have to kill them occasionally. But if you just sit around doing this, it's really not that bad. I recommend doing this with 4 people, because it will pay about 40,000 per run, meaning that every 3 runs you'll have about 120,000. So, you know, if you do that, you do the math, you know, do it so many times, you'll have about 1 million. You could just do that, or, you know, I do the CEO crates. And I have 4 people or 3 people to help out, and they're all in the mood. Because I'm always in the mood to run CEO. And I like to do the CEO work. I like to do the terabyte gold mission, and then I like to do the you know, and it is a 2-person grinding method though. And what you do is you do a CEO challenge called Most Wanted. You take your standard DeLorean or Deluxo or whatever the fuck it's called in the game. Fly it around, cops will never get you, make about 20,000 each. And so then you take that, and then you do a hostile takeover, which pays about 16,000. So making 20,000 from that challenge, 30,000 from the gold, about 16,000 from hostile takeover. You kind of see that's a decent build-up right there. And then you rinse and consecutively repeat, or then you do this kind of thing. This kills off time. It's a great way of running things, and you know, overall, man, this is a really good method, I would say. And a viewer showed me this, and you know, so I thought it was kind of cool. Now, of course, you had the occasional time where the banks end up taking. Oh well. Here, check this out, guys. I have 3 million now. So if we go to deposit this little snippet, then we have 3 million. So the other thing I like doing, I like running the dispatch missions. I like running those because they pay about 15,000 a piece. I'll run those till I have like 300,000 roughly. And whilst it does seem like a lot of times you have to do that, and whilst it does get repetitive, I mean, the faster you get them done, man. I mean, try to take your time, because the longer you take, the more it pays out. I think the most it could pay out's close to 20,000. Roughly standard amount time is about 15,000. Find somebody who likes to work heists. Make them at least about 4 to 500,000, and then run the take 4 ways. You know, the Pacific Standard. You know, and then have them, you know, take, you know, 25% each, so that way they can run it again and make, you know, because it only costs 100,000 to set that up, so it doesn't cost all that much money, given the fact that you're making about, you know, 25,000 a piece, roughly. Other thing, I do kind of want to do Criminal Mastermind with somebody, and that's because I don't have it done yet, and you know that pays about 10 million, and I'm not shit you not, it pays literally 10 million. So if we can run that with somebody, if we have somebody with enough patience to run that, then I have to do my research and tips onto it, but you have to be really good players and whatnot and do all the setups on hard mode without dying and stuff of that sort. And so we have to find people that are really, really, really good, and we're going to train up. We're going to run all the heists multiple times on a hard difficulty, you know, and sort of just get used to it and grind it into our system to where we can be so good. And when we make that 10 million mark, then, you know, everybody wastes it or does what they need with it. I'm going to save it because I have 3 million right now in the bank, roughly. So, you know, it's all, in this game, it is all about that grind, man. It really is. And, you know, before I was complaining that there's not enough ways to make decent amounts of money. And decent, in my opinion, is about 30,000. And the reason I say 30,000 is because it's that mark, that pinnacle mark where it's like, okay, that's enough to pay your bills and have some spending cash. 30,000 is a pretty, you know, decent amount of cash, you know. But some jobs pay sometimes $7,000, and that ain't shit. You know, especially like the racing in this game doesn't pay anything. Death matches you really have to bet money to really make money in those modes, and I guess that's a fair assumption to say. You know, and believe me, if I had more money, and I know the fact is that I have a lot of money. Okay, about 3 million is a lot of money in this game. To me, it's a lot. To some people, it's nothing. To some people, it's too much. Even though there's no such thing as too much amount of money. And for some people, it's a decent subsequent amount of money that isn't. It's either A, it's not too much, and B, it's also then again not enough. 3 million in today's GTA economy isn't really worth much if we actually go to the thing. A lot of things are in the $1 million range. I could buy 3 cars and waste, or I could buy 2 cars and waste my money right there. I'd say 8 million's a good amount, but it's hard to get to that point unless you buy, of course, a Megalodon Shark card, which is $100 in real cash. Even though $100 isn't anything, you know, in real life, and I really emphasize that for kids it is, because, you know, the kids don't have jobs, they rely on their parents. And it's hard to ask for $100, you know, for some kids, and some kids the parents are too poor and they won't buy it, man. But, you know, you really don't need shark cards to make that. And though it is bullshit to say that statement, because either A, you're going to need to make about 4 to 5 million before you make 8 million. The reason I say this is you're going to end up spending a lot of money on your businesses and upgrading your businesses and buying, you know, certain vehicles and stuff like that. Not that you have to, but, you know, because, I mean, okay, to say you don't have to is bullshit, because let's be honest, to make it an efficient thing to do, you're going to need to invest a lot of money to make money, and sometimes even in tools that don't even produce money. Such, you know, investments aren't worth it. You know, but if you're like me and you've been playing the game for a long time, I think it's very important that you realize what all you have. For me, I have a lot in the game. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really have an apartment anymore. I don't see. I might buy the Eclipse Tower one day when I get when I get into the 30 millions. Then I'll buy one of these. I don't want to go broke, and so I'm being wise with my money now. And it really isn't that wise, to be honest, because, you know, the fact is I have 3 million and I could easily buy one, but I just don't want to go behind in my money. So, you know, because I don't want to go behind, I would just end up grinding out 200,000 and buy a really cheap apartment, you know, or I might buy, I might save up 600,000, buy a cheap apartment, and still have some extra money. But to be honest, there just really isn't enough ways to keep a lot of money in this game. You know, 4 people is recommended because, you know, the more people, the better jobs pay, you know. Also, it's 4 people, so it's kind of a bit easier, you know. But if you've been playing the game for a long time and you've been consistent and you've bought in lots of properties when they first came out and you have the tools available, then yeah, why don't you go ahead? You can make a lot of money. Like I said, now I'm just at the point where I'm just grinding money. Like I don't need anything anymore. Like I have it all. I'm not bullshitting either. I have a DeLorean. I have a lowrider. I have an office with an office garage with needlessly lots of upgrades and customizations. I own lots of good, fast, and unique cars. I have my money's worth. You know, so if we actually go ahead and go look at my overall income, which it is a lot, go down to stats, career. Overall income is $198,311,977. Now I'm close to around 200 million. I'm close to that point where I've accumulated that much money. I'm almost level 300. I've been playing the game since I was in the 7th grade, and if I'm not mistaken, that's been since 2014, 2015-ish time, maybe in between. And it's been on and off. Some cycles I would play this game for months on end. Others I wouldn't. And I wouldn't make a lot of money because I'd insta-spend. I would find an object I wanted, grind for it, pay for it, see if I liked it or not, and then that was it. And then I did do the shiesty thing, and I bought a lot of shark cards too. Not too many, you know, but I bought a decent amount. You know, the $10 shark cards and stuff to help get me by, rather than actually working for it. And, you know, I kind of regret that because I didn't learn the valuable lesson of hard work. You know, you could really make it, man. Because, see, all this money was earned legit. The only thing that's not legit about it's really not 3 million. It's really 2.5 mil, if I'm being honest. Mainly because Rockstar gave me about 500,000, and you know, because of that, I saved my money, and I bought an armored Karima because why the fuck not? You know, it was such a vital tool back in the day. And you know, other things surpass it in the modern era, but I still think it's you know, it still holds up to this day as a vehicle. So I bought it. I wouldn't buy it if I didn't think it didn't hold up. I get most of my cars from the casino podium. I've glitched quite a few cars, so I didn't really have to pay for a lot of cars. I have over 6, 7, 8. Maybe I maybe have my garage would be worth 30 million if not I didn't glitch them. And I say that because I have so much money invested in those cars, and they cost in the $800,000 range. Some of them even ranging into the millions. Like I got the Bugatti when it first came out for the casino. The Thrax, I think is what it was called. Yeah, and that's like 2 million. So there's a lot of cars in there, and the DeLorean and the Strongberg were in there, and those are like $4 and $3 and $2 million cars, you know. So those are really expensive. So I would argue that my entire garage is maybe worth in total an amount of maybe 30 million, and I say 30 million roughly because considering I've upgraded the garage and stuff, the amount of, like, the lighting upgrades, the style, and you know, that kind of shit, and plus the garage itself cost about $1 million. So you know, so I would argue that it's worth a lot of money. Secondly, let's see, the amount of vehicles and stuff I own in this game. I own a yacht, I own a Golden Jet, you know, I own the whole 9 yards, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. My first million was made a couple days ago, and then I made my second million, and then my third million today. So, and I'm not saying third like this is my first $1 million ever making in the game. No, what I'm saying is that, you know, I'm on a $1 million run here. So, at the end of the week, I hope to obtain at least 7 million. You know, is what I'm expecting to obtain. And I hope to gain, hopefully, maybe 10 million, and then I can just sit down for a bit and just start spending. You know, I have a lot in the game. When I get 20 million, then I'm gonna do a whole video where I research everything and buy a bunch of useless junk. Buy some luxurious shit and buy the Eclipse Tower, of course, because it's the Eclipse Tower. Why not? It's the most expensive apartment in the game, and it's right there. And it's because it's the most expensive apartment, I kind of need to have it for my most expensive, you know, lifestyle. Whereas I have a yacht, Golden Jet, and of course the most expensive apartment in the game, penthouse, and so forth. I like having expensive things in the game. I no longer care about the whole death matches and the whole being a tryhard thing. I've moved out of that phase. I think every player that was around my time in this game, you know, from when I started playing, a lot of people were tryhards, and everybody went through that phase where we were all upgrading our weapons and shit. But when you get all your weapons maximally upgraded and shit, it's really not, it doesn't amount to anything special. You know, it really doesn't.
You shouldn't have to pay tax.
Oh man. I've maximized my stats. And let me show you guys another thing that I don't think enough people pay attention to in this game. Me and my friend Isaac, right, we've been playing this game for a long time. My original wingman was a guy named Pacer Lyons. I think I made a video with him, I think. No, I don't think I think he made a video with me in it a long time ago, because at the time I didn't have my YouTube channel. That's, you know, whatever. But it was a long time ago, man, and he kind of sucked at the game, and I kind of sucked at the game. You know, and we were little kids, man. We were kids, well, not little, but we were kids, man. We were scared of the Hydra Jet, we were scared of the tank, we were scared of the Insurgent, we were scared of everything because we didn't have it, and we know that people can wreck ass with it. And then eventually, over the course of time, we started expanding our arsenal, and it became all about military and combat. Then eventually we started upgrading our weapons and started unlocking more shit. And then it became about the grind to level 100. Until we've done that, and then I got the minigun and the RPG and everything else. And then it became the grind for money, because now we needed more money to start buying everything in the game. And at the time I had bought a $20 shark card, and I started kind of getting a bit used to buying the whole shark card thing. And I didn't do it all that much, but I still did it. My first shark card was interesting. It was a $20 shark card, and at the time I was like the most happiest dude. I'd never seen $1 million. I've never had $1 million in the game at the time. So my first 1 million was through a shark card, and it was 1,200,000. I had purchased property worth 500,000. I'd purchased a lowrider, upgraded it, and then I'd bought a sports car. Now at the time there was no businesses or whatever, and then by the time another businesses came out, I bought another $20 shark card, purchased the properties and stuff, and that was about $40 invested in the game. And then at that point, you know, it just became $10 shark cards and stuff, you know, $500,000, then I grind for the other half, you know, and then that's how I got my bunker and everything else. But now I'm at the point where I haven't purchased a shark card in the last 2 years. Now I've held $8 million at once. I mean, check this shit out, dude. I mean, I own so much in the game, man. Like, it's just time to be real, okay? And so, I own the Ruiner 2000, okay? Kind of a bit obsolete now, but I own it. I think it's worth $5 million. I own the DeLorean. I own the Stromberg. The only thing I don't own just yet is the Oppressor Mark II. And I'd much rather just run a Bogdan glitch 3 times, buy an Oppressor Mark II and a Penthouse, or the Eclipse Tower, and then run it a 4th time, and then upgrade my Oppressor Mark II with weapons and start investing in some small business upgrades and stuff like that. But I'd rather run Bogdan to buy my upgrades rather than actually use my hard-earned cash, because I'm just grinding my cash. And this experiment of trying to grind for about 7 million is sort of just to display the fact that, you know, I've made it. So this is my honest cash. None of this is purchased cash. Like I said, the only thing that's not honestly earned was given to me by Rockstar, and because they were giving out $500,000 to everybody. So at one point, I think Rockstar gave me $1 million. I think. I don't remember, but I remember. No, I do remember. It was toward Bunker series, and I hope they do that again, because I would like to just have another, you know, 1 million just there without even having to work for it. It's pretty cool. At that time, that 1 million, I just went on a miniature spending. Oh god, I'm dead. Now getting out of this one, Chief. Yeah, now we're dead. Shit. That's what I get for being a dumbass. $1,300. Or I could do like little glitches like this and earn a pocket change to just work with. I'll be right back, actually. I'm going to go get something to drink. Man, you know, I remember the first thing I did when I played the game, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'll actually tell you the story. So, when I first started playing GTA, it was much different from how it is now. On the minimap, the whole map was just filled with shit to do. Like, over here was arm wrestling, over here was arm wrestling, and over here was deathmatch, and it was just everywhere. There was always shit to do. You know, there was always just shit to do, and I was like a level 5 at the time. And I remember back in story mode how I used to evade the cops. I would just drive into the hills and lose them, and then the cops, they never got lost. They kept coming at me, and I was confused. and I tried to pick up one of their pump shotguns or whatever because I was cheap. I didn't want to pay for it, you know, and I was earning my money through death matches. I earned roughly about 40,000 out of it, you know, and I thought it was cool because in story mode you don't earn a lot of money at first. You earn a lot of money in the end, but at first you don't really make a lot. So I thought I had a lot of money. I thought I could flex on people, and I realized after I met the first major time moneymaker at the time was running heists and everything and had a lot of expensive shit, and I was just like, okay man, he's like way beyond my leagues. I realized that right then and there I made the mistake by assuming how money works, and then I started seeing the prices of things and I was like, holy fuck man. So that's what hit me hard, you know. And then, you know, eventually, like I said, my friend Pacer Lyons, you know, when he was around, we just sort of did our own thing, man. We killed each other, we did the stupid shit. We did lots of stupid shit, man. And we used to do something I'm about to do right now, something I haven't done in a long time. What we used to do is we used to run in here, we used to shoot the guy and steal it that way. But we figured out that it's just a lot faster to just have him just drop the cash in front of you. And oh my god, I wouldn't expect that to happen now. But actually, man, yeah, so he ended up pulling a gun on me, but at the time I was confused, because at the time, he pulled a fucking LMG on me. I literally shit you not, man, he pulled an LMG on me and I popped him, picked up the LMG, and I thought it was God for a couple seconds until someone with an RPG blew me up. Oh, and the RPG tryhards. True classic, man. It will never die. It's like it's died because now it's all about the Oppressor Mark II. Man, oh man, you know, rocket launcher tryhards are a fucking fond memory of mine. And the reason I say fond memory is because now I've played the game long enough to not care about KD or anything, or the little shit in the game, to the point where it's like I don't care. So looking back at it, man, the RPG was the most vital tool. RPG and the heavy sniper were the two, well, and the marksman rifle. But man, back then, you know, they had yachts, they had all this other shit, man. And the game was littered with content. It was littered with content at the time. And there was just so much to just buy in it, you know, and indulge yourself with. And then, you know, a couple updates later, and then we're stuck, you know, in the gutter trying to, you know, we were hustling and we were doing our own thing. And after a while, shit just got kind of sour, man. It's like things became hard to buy. Yeah, man, there wasn't shit like this, man. Barely any cars are worth $1 million. There was only one car worth, I believe, $2 million. Let's actually go look at it. It is the T20 right here. $2,200,000. At the time, this was the most expensive car in the game, and rightfully so. At the time, the T20 was the fastest car in the game. It was a twin turbocharged V8 engine, is what it says here. You know. The fact I can buy this and still have $1 million left over just immediately surprises me. The fact I can buy one of these Indy cars surprises me. But I just choose not to. I'm choosing not to because, in my opinion, it's kind of a waste of money to just waste it all on a vehicle. The Tron bike. Oh man, I even remember back in the day, it was so strange because there were so many ways to make a lot of money easy back then. And, you know, I kind of remembered it because my friend Pacer Lyons was like, Solomon, you know, get on. This dude's going to be running heists all night. And then we just ran heists. And I walked away with about, you know, 600, 800,000. And then I just wasted all then. It was just never that much money to me. Whenever I had money, I had to buy something. Like, I'd pick something out. I picked out projects. I didn't have any particular goals. I'd say, okay, this car looks pretty cool. Now, I never personally owned this vehicle in the game yet. I don't think I ever will. I mean, it's really cheap. It's only, you know, 300,000. I'm not going to buy it now, but anyway, I'd say, okay, I want this. It's the whole day I'd be grinding until I could just buy this. And that's just how it was back then, you know. That's how we made, that's what we did. And now, you know, I look on my thing. I own a yacht, hangar. I own all this shit, man. I own a lot. I really do. Man, and now I can just retire at the fact that I have so much money, man. Like, and I'm not even, I mean, I guess you can say I'm bragging or boasting about how much money I have in the game, and I know there's people that have more than I do, but, you know, it's like, you know, it's not really a saying, but it's like, you have that person who really sucks at Call of Duty, and for the first time they had a good KD, maybe a 5.7 KD at top of the leaderboard. Very little deaths that contributed a lot. They feel super good about themselves. Well, today this is kind of the same thing. I feel really good about myself. I'm able to realize how much I have in the game. A little bit of a Vice City reference here. I remember when I first bought the yacht, I was like the happiest person on earth. Because I had a lot in the game then. And I used to brag a lot back then. But now it's like I have all this cash prominently displayed here. I really enjoy that. And now I've really come to a liking about The Office. I like the amount of money that's in these briefcases. I think that's amazing. See what happens when I open this safe. I think it's, hang on, we'll see how much I get. I don't think it's gonna be all the way full. Nope, it's still at the bottom level. But hey, man, I mean, that's still a lot of money, man. And then for some odd reason I can never explain fully, and I always use this as an excuse. This would always just be here. It's called the Diamond Casino, and I don't remember. This, I have no idea what it's supposed to be. You know, I know it's supposed to be a poker chip for the, you know, chips. But my big question comes from the fact that, hey, you know, if the Diamond Casino, if this was released back when this first came out, would that mean that they've already hinted at the Easter egg of a Diamond Casino? Or was this added, was this chip added when the casino was added? So I can't truly, or honestly, remember clearly. So what I will end up saying is that I think it's really strange. I kind of think it was always there. Awesome. I have taken a selfie in the game. I'm proud. And I've, you know, obviously, you know, this is a good game, man. It really is. But I think, you know, a lot of people complain about the grinding, and I really see that. My big recommendation is have a goal. Grind for 100,000 on day 1, grind for 200,000 on day 2, grind for 200,000 on day 3, and then you have 500,000. Then keep going, and then you just don't stop. It's gonna take days until you get to 3 million. It took me 3 days to get to 3 million. I was averaging out, but I had money to work with. I had about over 500,000. I had about $800,000 when I first started, so I kind of had a kickstart into it, you know. But for these 2 other $1 million I've earned, I didn't have a kickstart, you know. So I had to earn that. So I'm very interesting. I think that people could really make a lot of money. You just have to be with it. And it may take you 7-8 days to get $1 million for some people. But alright guys, I think with all that said, you know, let me know in the comment sections what you think about grinding in this game. Do you guys think it's cancerous? Do you guys think it's easy? Do you guys oftentimes spend a lot of time grinding in the game? Let me know what's your best grinding methods in the comment section below. I guess until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one.